Hello and welcome to the Starfish podcast.
Hello, everybody. It's so good to have you with us. Thank you for tuning in. It's always a pleasure to be with you.
And this is Anya.
And this is Wes.
And can you believe this is our 5th one that we've done?
I know.
It's just been really good. And what's been really good is like in normal conversations with people at AIM community, whether it's young people, parents, carers and staff, people have been referring to it as well, which is good. And even including like some of the main topics we've been talking about. So just off the cuff when we talk about things like about music and what have you. But in particular, people have talked about different books as well. And some feedback that I've got is my books are like really heavy books. I don't seem to read a lot of like some light like fiction. A lot of it is all like non-fiction. But I'm looking for recommendations out there. So if anyone has got any thoughts or ideas, please leave them down in the comments because I'd like to read different books.
Yeah, so thank you for taking your time of the day to come and tune in with us. And also, it's an interactive experience that we get to have with you all, in you commenting some ideas, also when you come and see us, if you're involved in AIM community, it's just great. Thank you for giving all the feedback, and we welcome all of it. And talking about feedback, we've been doing a prize draw from our last podcast, and we've had a couple comments, and from those couple comments, we need to get a winner for them to get a prize of a gift card on a AIM experience. So I think let's do the honors, Wes.
Yeah, we'll definitely do. And just before, like some of the comments is always we hear the comments. We want to always improve what's going on. It's quite a new podcast, but we always try and develop as it goes on. So any feedback is helpful. Myself and Anya and the wider AIM community would like to hear your feedback. I think just getting any comments from anyone is really good, isn't it? Absolutely.
We love the interaction. And, you know, this podcast is for young people, inspired by young people. So each segment that we do get, a lot of the questions that we get, the would you rathers or questions to meet the mentors, they all come out of conversations with young people that we have or staff that we have. So all of this is inspired by multiple people that are behind the scenes. It's me and Wes here, but a lot of people actually implementing into this podcast. So it's so great. So yeah, moving on, let's get the winners up.
That's right. So in my hand, I've got the names of 2 people who have left a comment on our last podcast number 4. So the names is G Burns, and we've also got Sandy W. These are the ones that are in my hand. I'm just going to mix them up. So you can't see which ones are which.
I'm closing my eyes.
Okay, so you just got to pick my left or my right. Okay, so whatever you say, that is going to be the winner of this prize draw.
I mean, I would love both of you to win. I don't know any of your usernames, so I don't actually know who you are in real life, but hopefully we'll get to meet you. Okay, let's go with this hand.
This one here? Okay, so the winner of the very first Starfish podcast prize draw is G Burns.
Hey, G Burns.
G Burns. Now, of course, we don't actually know who G Burns is, but we have got an email for you to get in touch with at us and then find out what you want to do. Do you want to have AIM community experience? We've got like gift vouchers to give out as well. So please let us know. But it's under our Starfish email as well at starfishmentoring.org. So if you want to get in touch with us, please do.
Yeah, so exciting. And G Burns, if you do want to come onto this podcast and just say hi or introduce yourself with the wider world of Starfish podcast, you are very welcome to.
Absolutely. And one of the things we always want to get feedback from is when people ask questions about our fellow mentors here.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've had quite a few at the moment in terms of mentors responding, but we've got a brand new one this time. And so the mentor that we have this time is someone who does a lot of one-to-one work with young people and across all of Bournemouth, Poole and Christchurch, which is exciting. So to meet the mentor this week is Phil Coleman.
Yeah, give it up to Phil.
I became a mentor for a few reasons, I think. The first is that it seems to me that it's hard being a young person these days. I think it's always been hard to be a young person, but it seems to me like the world that young people are growing up in today is perhaps harder and more challenging than it was for previous generations. And so I wanted to be a positive influence and a support and an encouragement to young people. The skills that I bring to mentoring are encouragement. I love to encourage anybody, but especially young people. I've lived over 4 decades now, so I feel like I do have a certain amount of life wisdom that I can pass on to young people. And mentoring just feels like a really meaningful and purposeful thing to do, and it gives me a deep sense of, I guess, satisfaction as I mentor. Oh, that's a hard question. I don't actually play the guitar as much as I used to, but when I was in my prime, there was a version of the old classic 60s song Summertime. There was a jazz version by a guitarist called Martin Taylor, and he'd arranged it for a guitar, and I spent many hours learning that, perhaps about 20 years ago now, and I could play it perfectly. That's an easy one for me. I'm a big fan of a guitarist and a singer-songwriter called John Mayer, and he's quite popular now, quite well known, but when he was less well known, about 20 years ago, I went to see him at a really small club in the Midlands, and there was only about 100 people there, and he blew me away with his singing, with his songs, but most profoundly with his guitar playing. He is a genius guitar player, and I got to see that up close and personal at this really small, intimate gig. So that was the best musician I have seen. Tough one. I'm a big fan of all kinds of cheeses. I think probably my favourite is Applewood smoked cheese. Love that. But there are lots that I could choose from. Favourite place in the world? I'd have to actually say somewhere local. Somewhere like Hengistbury Head over in Christchurch. It's a stunning place with amazing panoramic views from the top. And it's also the place where I asked my wife if she would marry me over 20 years ago. And she said yes. So it's a very special place to me and my wife. And so I'd have to say that Hengistbury Head is my favourite place here.
It's always great to hear more from our mentors.
Yeah, especially like seeing like someone like live music as well is pretty big. So John Mayer is a big influence on Phil. I know Phil quite well, and actually some of the music that he plays a lot, Phil on the guitar, is John Mayer as well. But that's interesting, like what an impact seeing someone live can do.
Yeah, and it feels different as well. When you go and see somebody live, you just like, you feel the vibrations of the music.
True, yeah, and I've talked about before, like the different gigs I've gone to and stuff, and you're right, like sometimes listening on the radio or if you're in the car, that's incredible. Actually seeing it live is amazing. The songs seem to be a bit better. That's in my opinion anyway.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. Have you been seeing anyone live, or would you say your favorite one of the live performances has been anyone that we would know?
Well, I don't know. I'm a lot older than a lot of people out there. However, there's Jamie Cullum. Have you heard of that person?
Not sure.
No, it's the
I told you before this podcast, I'm not good with names.
Okay.
I'm good with like singers,
Well,
like hearing the songs.
Well, this guy is great. We went to Bristol to see him, me and my wife, like years ago, and it was incredible. He's like a great like pianist, so in terms of the piano playing, and he plays the whole piano. So he opens it up, picks on the strings, bangs on the side. He's incredible. He does a lot of like covers. So some really popular songs. So songs like from like Rihanna or songs from like Pharrell Williams. He does a lot of like covers of those.
Nice.
But he's incredible. He's got some of his own songs as well. But the thing is, like when I saw him live, he just had like a projector screen. There's nothing on it, but just his shadow. And he played like Pure Imagination from like the Willy Wonka films, like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. because he slowed it down so much, you just felt like you was in a different space. It was really good. It was lovely.
I might need to check him out.
I'll have to send it to you. There you go.
Please
There you
do.
go.
Please do. We're here always with the recommendations.
Yeah, and what about yourself, Anya? What about someone that you've seen live before?
Recent one that I have seen live was Luke Combs' tribute. So it's not him. My husband is a big fan of country music, and Luke Combs' Refrigerator Door is like a big inspiration, to the point where when we got married, Con was like, I want to recreate a family refrigerator door. So we have loads of
wow.
like magnets from different places we've been, and pictures on our refrigerator door inspired by Luke Combs. Yeah, we didn't see him specifically, but there was a Luke Combs lookalike, sound-alike.
Sounded like him too.
Sound-alike, who actually met Luke Combs in America before. So, you know, they're basically the same person now. But it was really good. He had like a beer can in his hand while also singing. It was fun. Also love how country music gets everybody moving and grooving. Like, even though it was like a sit down type of thing, people were standing up, you know. Yep, those hips are moving.
All right, there you go. There's another recommendation there. And I would also love to do like line dancing, that kind of thing. I've never done it before.
Really? I've done it recently, actually.
All right.
I went to a one-off event, but it's called Funky Soul. We went not long to a place near Swanage, and we did the line dancing, and it was so fun. Like, my husband got involved, our friends got involved. It was just, if you don't know how to dance, doesn't matter. You get shown many times. And sometimes you get stepped on your feet as well. But it doesn't matter. Everyone's welcome. So even if you have 2 left feet, you're welcome. I got stepped on quite a bit, but it was part of the experience.
I'd like to try it out.
Look at like Funky Soul, because that was the actual team that was leading us, and they do it every week. I think they do it on somewhere like industrial estate. Okay. I'm not sure, Bournemouth Pool. It's local. If you're local, you should find them. They're great. Little shout out.
Little shout out. We'll look out for that as well. And of course, it's not just outdoors. At AIM Community, there's a lot of feet tapping, hips moving, because we've also got some young people that do performances here as well. In fact, not too long ago, there was part of like AIM Arts Academy that's here. There were some young people putting on a huge performance, and then there's more coming up in the future as well. Which is great.
There's constantly new talent being born here. You know, we have young people that go to AIM Arts Academy that have their albums on Spotify, and it's just amazing to see young talent just kind of blooming before your eyes. I love it. And I remember there was one young person as well. I won't name them, but he was very shy to perform in front of others, hasn't performed in front of many people. I was like one of the few people that he was able to sing in front of. And then like afterwards, like a few weeks later, he's like performing and singing with others, and it was just amazing to see that confidence shift, and the voice and the music talent on the guitar that he had and still has is just incredible. So definitely be on the lookout for different performances that go on at AIM.
Absolutely, but exciting stuff. And a little bit later, we talk about like a few events that's coming up and what has happened.
And now we're moving on to another segment, which was loved, and we're bringing it back. We didn't have it last time, but you know, we're bringing it back because it's a goodie, and it's Would You Rather. And today's Would You Rather is: would you rather meet somebody from the future or from the past, Wes?
Oh, that is a really good question. I guess naturally, I always want to know how things started. So I think I'd probably want to meet someone in the past. And also, cause I like the future's kind of like unknown. I kind of like it that way. You know, like I don't really want to know all the time what's going on. So I think from the past. Now, I guess the bigger question is, what part of the past? Would it be like 5 minutes ago? I just saw you 5 minutes ago. Would it be like, I've always been really interested in, like, you know, like the kind of Victorian times, like how it actually was living during those times. So it's just to meet a regular, it doesn't have to be like anyone of royalty or anything like that, just a regular person, like how life was there, would be interested. Going all the way back to like, you know, like BC days and stuff like that, like how was it there? You know, I'd be interested in the past. So I think for me, I would like to have a conversation and meet someone from the past. What about yourself?
Well, myself, I was quite torn when I saw this question. I was quite torn because it's great to know what's coming up to be prepared for for the future. So I thought, what is the benefit of both of them? For me, the pro of the future is to be prepared for the future. So I'm like, okay, this is what I need to be prepared for. However, I enjoy also remembering the simpler things and the simple pleasures of life.
Yeah.
So also the kind of like knowing somebody from the past and what values they held. I also would like to see and speak to somebody from the past in a way to be like, oh, okay, so how did they survive? The times are a bit tougher, not as easy as now. You know, you don't get Uber Eats. You don't, you know, you don't, you have to, you had to like make everything yourself, make your cheese, you know, milk your goats, make your clothes. Just the perseverance from the past and the skillship. I really admire that. So I think I prefer learning from the simpler times and bringing it to the future, because I feel like the future might freak me out a bit, you know, if we're all like elevated in like spaceships, don't need to walk around anymore, use our feet. And I'm a walker, I love walking, so you know, I will still stick to some roots that I love and know.
And I guess like choosing the future, how far in the future would you
Exactly.
choose? So if you, because you chose the future, if you had to speak to someone in the future, like how are you talking about, like 10 years from now, 100 years from that? Like,
well, I prefer the past, so I'm sticking to the past. Like I see some pros and cons in both of them. I mean, if I go for the future, I would go like maybe 100 years.
Okay.
But then I also think, 50 years is also good as well, because, you know, if there's anything for me later on down the line to be aware of and being prepared for. And then you think, you know, you can go so deep. Like, this is how my mind works. You can go so deep. People like what country you want to see, who exactly you want to speak to.
Well, that's it.
There's just so much. This is a discussion. So please leave your comments, because Wes and I can talk about this for ages.
Forever, So and please do. And get involved as well in the chat as well, because we want to know, like, from the past or from the future, who would you like to speak to? But actually, like, how time moves so quickly as well. My wife and I watched a film recently. It's called 1 Hour Photo. Have you seen it? It's
no, I haven't actually.
It's a Robin Williams film, and it's about someone who like develops film like for cameras. And we're just thinking, no one does that now. Like the whole idea of like actually taking a picture, making sure it's the perfect picture because you only got like one shot at it, and then taking it to a place, getting it developed. I'll come back tomorrow because it's not going to be ready for a while. And then all the work that goes into it, and you get like a little pack of like 20 photos, pictures and stuff that you stick on the wall or whatever. Just think about like how that wasn't even that long ago.
I know. My granddad was into it. And when I was studying in college doing like BTech art, one of the topics of photography, we actually had to do developing and having a red room, like a dark room and everything. And the process that goes into it, thinking, okay, there's like a few steps. Okay, make sure you go in this developer first and this, and like don't touch this because it's like some acid or it can hurt you. I don't know if it's acid, but I was told don't touch it. It's dangerous.
Just don't do it. Just don't do it. You don't know what could happen. But just like how quick the world works. So if you did see someone in 50 years, I think it'd be significantly different than it is now, because the last 50 years has changed a lot, you know.
I think so. That's why I'm like, I don't know if I want to see how much it will be developed. Because as I told you, I think I told you this week, like some people using chat GBT as a psychologist. So I'm like, will we have people working with people? Will we be just talking to robots? Like, how's the world gonna be?
Who knows? Well, the thing is, like, if you talk to someone in like 50 years time, they're like, and they're talking underwater, you're like, wait a minute. I didn't know if I wanted to know that. So we're all underwater. I don't know. So it just depends.
Wow. That reminds me of a game called BioShock. That is actually the world is underwater, and they actually show that. So yeah, for those who know. There
you go. If you know, you know. Just gonna put it out there. But great question. And please like send us some more, because in the first early episodes, we had a lot of Would You Rather questions, but just keep sending them because we really like them. We love doing this podcast, but one of the things we also like to do is to just do a few shout outs of what's been going on in the world of AIM community, which has been good. So what we like to do is take care of ourselves, a lot of like well-being, and checking in like how we're doing. So wellbeing walks has been a big thing of what we've been doing, in particular with Starfish, but the wider AIM community. So last year we had a couple of amazing wellbeing walks. Had one just for adults actually, which was really good, really liberating for the adults to go on there just to be able to talk. I had another one in the pool area, which was like around Christmas time, so it was lovely like music going on. And the most recent one we had was around at Hengistbury Head, actually. Nice little place there just for people to get out and about, just encourage people to walk. And there's certain months that's dedicated to things, and May is dedicated to like walk-in month. So what better way of doing it than going on a walk, which is good.
It's so great. And encouraging people to explore new areas, like it's so great, like the conversations that we're able to have while walking, while also becoming more self-aware, because that well-being aspect of trying to check in with yourself throughout the walks and seeing how your feet are feeling, how your breath is, using your breath as the anchor as well, and pushing yourself a little bit further. The Hensbury Head was a little bit of a challenging one. So for those that haven't walked that long in a while, and the real challenges for those that want to do the overnight hike, the wellbeing walks are a great way to get prepared for that, as well as becoming more self-aware, get connected in the community,
absolutely,
and with nature as well.
Yeah, and I remember the first one that you did. You actually have someone who was just brand new to the area, innit, who came on down and got to meet people. So who knows what can happen on these wellbeing walks? And when there's more coming, we'll let you know, which is cool.
Yeah, just stay tuned.
Absolutely, stay tuned. And if you do like the sound of my voice, not only do I do the podcast, but I've also been on Hope FM, which has been really cool. Second time now. The first time I went on there, I was able to broadcast some young people's music that happens at AIM Community, which is cool. Really good experience, and like really good to meet the host, Karen, who actually came to one of our events that we had here to see young people perform as well, which is incredible. So
it's great. And you know, it sounded great. You have so much to talk about when it comes to AIM Community. So Wes is a great person to listen to and full of knowledge.
I remember the first time I went on the show Hope FM, and there's like, do you want to do like half an hour? They said, well, the maximum is 2 hours. We filled the 2 hours because it was like so much just going on at AIM. In fact, actually, the first time I didn't get a chance to talk about everything. So check out the second one because I get to fill in some of the gaps. So that'll be really good. So
if you've tuned in to the last episode and then were like at the edge of your seat, know that there's a part 2 that's out now.
So please check that one out. And also stuff going on in the future. We've got like our annual event that happens, which is AIM Fest. So last year we was here. We had a bit of a barbecue at our building. And you was heading up like the open mic, weren't you?
That was fun. That was great. I mean, there were so many people at the start of the kind of afternoon that we had. There were just like a few names jot down, but then more people were coming up, and I was trying to rearrange because there was quite a few performances actually at the end of it. And it was so great just to hear different voices, different instruments. It was fun just to see all the talent, as I say, that is so in-house that we don't always hear because we're in so many different places. But to gather together and appreciate everything, it's exciting to see what will happen this year.
It's been really good, and just like the fact that young people like throughout the year they're building and doing a lot of things. The fact that at the last AIM Fest there was like a TV, like a screen, a big projector just showing a lot of the drama and like a lot of the work, the music that young people are doing. It's incredible. So there's going to be another one coming up this year as well, which is exciting. It's just a way to nice to celebrate the academic
and
year.
And the different listening stations as well. So in the room where we do the Starfish podcast, there's different listening stations that we've done in the past, and I think we're doing it this year too, where you can come and just listen to young people's tracks as well. So you can just start grooving on your own. It's a bit of a silent disco experience. You know, you can groove to one track, somebody next to you grooving to another track on the headphones.
Do a line dance.
Exactly.
When it's happening, you know?
Let's just have a collaboration of everything.
It's just fun stuff. So like AIM Fest, there's going to be some info out there coming up later, but it's just really exciting things. Now, usually that would be the end of our podcast. However, by a popular demand, there's been a brand new segment that's happened. So Anya is a fountain of information. Usually, if there's anything that you need to know about, Anya's got a bit of an idea. And if she doesn't, she'll be able to find out for you. But this is a particular question that's come from a young person who's never ever been to London before, but is an enthusiast when it comes to like coffee shops. And I remember last time Anya was talking about different places in London. So this question is perfect for you. So it's our next segment, which is Ask Anya. Woo!
Thank you very much, Wes. I don't know everything. And it's an honor to be asked this because I love all hot coffee shops and cute places. So, yes. So, just a disclaimer, I don't live in London. I never have. But when I go somewhere, I research hard to make sure I go to worthwhile places. So, here's a bit of a list. If you're interested, get your pen and paper or your phone, just be ready. But the place that I loved the most was Ollie and Steen. It's a wonderful Danish coffee shop with Danish pastries. Really, really nice. My favorite thing that I tried there it was a Swedish cinnamon bun. It was so good. It was like a plat. So it was kind of close to Valentine's Day when I went, so they added a little heart on it. But they probably won't. They might add something else for different seasons. But it doesn't change the consistency. It had like cinnamon inside it and some custard inside it. So if you're not vegan, if you're not gluten-free, just recommend to try it because it's so, so nice. It was moist. It was fresh. It was wonderful. It was the best cinnamon pastry I've ever tried. Like it's the best. Like I don't know where else you can get a better one. And they have really nice paninis there. They have such an array of fresh juices. Really great place. It can get quite busy. It's quite central, so it's close to all the stations, like the bus stations and the train stations. But it's really worth a visit. So just check it out. It's so good. Other places that were recommended, I mean, percentage Arabica. I mean, there's no percentage, just a percentage sign in Arabica. So I don't know what that is. Maybe it's like 100% Arabica. I don't know. But that was recommended, but I didn't have time. If I would have had more time, that was recommended for coffee. So specifically coffee. So because I love coffee with pastries, like I was like, okay, let's go places where there's definite good pastries and bakeries that are there. So that's why I didn't go there. But for coffee, if you really want a good quality coffee, apparently that's a good place. Then this place that was recommended, I went to, and I wasn't too keen on it just because it was smaller than I expected. And also, I mean, the coffee was nice. The bakery bits that we got were nice. I had like a cinnamon bun as well as like a cardamom bun. I mean, that's like their specialty, that they also have like unique different buns like with cardamom. Apparently it's really fresh and really nice. I mean, I say apparently it's really nice, but it wasn't like anything mind-blowing for me. But apparently that's where the locals go. So if you do want to go to Fabrique Bakery, you can go. That's the place to go. Another place that I really do recommend, like this place is called Toklas Bakery, and I went to because there was so much coffee shops that I could have gone to. So I went to the Toklas to actual restaurant because they have a restaurant in the evening. Really fresh and seasonal. So they change their menus. I don't know whether it's every few weeks or monthly. So everything is super fresh. It's a little bit of like maybe even a Spanish style. The way it was even advertised, I was like, oh, why do you think food is always fresh on holidays? It's because they use things seasonally. Come to Toklas, it's great. You know, we use seasonal foods. So it was lovely, really fresh, amazing service. Even my husband was like, I feel like I need to fancy myself up here and be a bit more proper because it was a proper restaurant. But the bakery apparently is as good as the restaurant. Wow. I don't know. I didn't have time to visit it, but it was greatly advertised to go, and apparently there's queues in the morning to get there.
Cool.
It was a lovely place, so I recommend the bakery if it's anything as good as the restaurant. Another place just going on one of the last places is Popham's. So that is also known for its great bakery, and this one actually was recommended from another YouTuber, and it looked really nice and tasty, and I was like, oh, I really want to go there, but it was out of our way, so that's why we didn't. And then if you want to go to an Instagram worthy place, that is another section. It's called Farm Girl Cafe, so I was correct. Apparently everything is just aesthetic, Instagram worthy content creation. So if you're into photographing your food, which I am, but I actually don't post it anywhere. It's just for my own looking, and I like to just see what I ate and had a good time.
Put it on the fridge door.
Yeah, exactly. Put it on the fridge door. It's just for my own memories, and being like, I talk about some food that I had, and I'm like, oh wait, I have a photo of it too. Let me show you. But yeah, the Farm Girl, I didn't have time to go there. I think it's a bit of a branchy place. I'm not sure how everything is so fresh and nice, but apparently it's really, really nice experience overall, and the aesthetic of it, the place is really nice, which I'm all here for too. I like the taste and the aesthetic and everything. So use your 5 senses when you go to these places. Let us know what other places that you recommend, especially if you live in London or you've been somewhere in London. This is just the few picks that I picked here, but there's a lot more, and if you can recommend anything, please pop it down, because we have a community here. We can recommend.
It's very interactive.
Exactly. And I want to try some of these places that you might know of.
It's true.
So I'll tell you my experience of them.
Amazing. Thanks for sharing that. Yeah, and if you've got any other questions, there may be some more things that Anya's super enthusiastic about as well. So just keep asking Anya.
I don't know everything, but there's some things that I love to find out more about, just like places to visit.
Perfect. Excellent. Well, that about wraps up our podcast for today. But thank you very much. It's always a pleasure doing this with you, Anya, as well.
Thanks, Wes.
Always get to learn a lot, not only from our mentors like Phil this week, but also just the comments that people put on the bottom as well. So thank you very much.
Thank you all. Thank you for tuning in, for making time in your day to be with us. It's a pleasure to be part of your day. Or night, or morning.
Exactly. And as always, this is Anya.
And this is Wes.
And this is the Starfish Podcast.
Pleasure being with you.